Hey y'all, how you doing? It's your boy Cash coming at you with another reaction video. It's only one way we do things, and that is the Cash way. Um, all I gotta say is, hi India, what's going on? I'm excited for this one. Based off my previous post, which was Geography Now Romania reaction, and I loved it. Got a good laugh, uh, and just was formally educated, to a certain degree. And in the comments of that video, um, a subscriber, there was a comment, um, and the comment was like, asking basically for me to react to this. So this is my first Indian related video, and let's get right into it. So this is for you guys. If you're Indian and you're watching this, or from India, hey, let me know what you think. Even if you haven't watched this, or no matter what ethnicity you are, and if you're watching this for the first time, or if you've seen this already and want to watch it again with me, hey, I'm glad you're here. So let's learn together, y'all.
So, we have finally encroached upon the giant India. Some of you have been waiting a long time for this episode. I'm just gonna say straight up.
Okay. Quick fun fact. Uh, Let me say something. I do know Indian cuisine, blah, blah, blah. Cuisines, Indian food. Let me stop trying to say the fancy word. You It's usually on the spicy side. Mistake me if I'm wrong, or if that's just a stereotype from America, at least. Usually, we tend to think that you guys like spicy food and have spicy dishes. I haven't had too much Indian food in my lifetime. But I do know about it being spicy. And I have family and friends that love Indian food. It's very popular in America, very popular. And of course, because there's a lot of Indians in America as well, running businesses and doing what they do. And another quick fun fact: I also worked with a few Indians at a previous job. Great people, very nice, easygoing. You know, uh, very understanding. You can communicate clearly, and they process what you say as you process what they say. Very even tempered, and yeah, great experience. So let's get right back into it.
You all know India is incredibly complex and diverse. Even Indians have trouble understanding their own country. Obviously, I won't be able to scratch even the surface in this episode, but I'll try my best. A lot of you Indian geography peeps have helped me along the way, so thank you. And without further ado, let's begin. It's time to learn geography now! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. This place doesn't even need much of an introduction. Everybody has heard of India. It's big, it's loud, it's colorful, and most importantly, it has a plethora of confusing territorial anomalies that I just can't wait to cover. Here we go. There's an old saying, India is a place where everyone is in a hurry, but no one is ever on time. First of all, India is located in South Asia, right on the Indian and Arabian Seas and the Bay of Bengal, bordered by 6 other countries, so close to 7, but that land bridge between Sri Lanka got wiped away like 600 years ago by a cyclone. India is divided into 29 states and 7 union territories, with the capital New Delhi, which acts as its own administrative unit, located in the capital.
Okay, so India has 29 states. India is huge. 29 states. I know America got 50, but I know for a fact that India has to be huger than America, because to me America is relatively small. But well, it depends on what type of landscape you're comparing it to. But 29, that's a lot.
Capital Territory. Keep in mind, New Delhi is actually just the name of one of the districts in the Capital Territory made up of 11. The largest city, however, is actually Mumbai, with New Delhi, Bangalore, or Bengaluru, and Hyderabad following after. However, the 4 busiest airports are Delhi Indira Gandhi International, Mumbai's Chhatrapati Shivaji International, Bengaluru's Kempe Gowda International, and Chennai International in the south. You know why I'm smiling. This is my favorite part of any episode we ever make. Territorial anomaly time. India is loaded with strange borders and deliciously complex complex demarcation lines. First of all, what exactly is a union territory? In the simplest way I can put this, union territories are places that are too distinct to be incorporated into a state, but too small to have their own local governments. The first one, of course, is the Delhi National Capital Territory, where the capital lies. Chandigarh is a post-independent city constructed to replace Lahore as the capital of the Punjab area after it was split up between India and Pakistan.
Oh, Punjab. Oh, man. There's... Alright, there was a... Punjab. Alright. Fun fact. There was a wrestler. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the WWE, formerly known as the WWF. You know, wrestling over here. It's huge. It's international. So, pretty sure you guys do know what I'm talking about. But there was a wrestler, an Indian wrestler by the name of the Great Khali. The Great Khali. And he was huge. He's like 7'3", ethnic Indian, from India, and there was a match that he had made, and the name of the match that he came up with was called the Punjabi prison match. So it was just like crazy. But yeah, that's a fun fact that once I saw Punjab, I was like, wow. I just thought of the Great Khali. So yeah, shout out to that.
Then you have the island territories, the smallest one, Lakshadweep, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The Andaman Islands being home to one of the last uncontacted people groups on the planet, the Sentinelese tribe, whom have been hostile to visitors and are therefore left alone, as well as the Nicobar Islands, which actually used to be a short-lived colony of Denmark. Finally, the three remaining territories are former European colony towns and ports, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, which are separated by about 200 kilometers across the Gulf of...
What were Europeans doing all the way over here in Asia? What? And I think I did also hear about that isolated island, you know, where they're like the least to say, like, you know, not very welcoming to like visitors and whatnot, due to them only knowing themselves in the isolation and everything. So yeah, I do believe if that is the same exact island, yeah, I think I heard of that.
Ambat, and the most confusing union territory, the French-speaking Puducherry, which is actually split up between 4 district cities across India: Karikal, Mahe, Yanaon, and Pondicherry. Pondicherry is strange because it has 11 enclaves within the Tamil Nadu state. And in this area, you can also find the experimental hippie-ish commune with a little bit of controversy. Look it up. And don't forget, here, the eastern states, also known as the Seven Sisters, are connected by this incredibly narrow 20...
The eastern states, also known as the Seven Sisters. I wonder why they're called the Seven Sisters. Is it because they have like feminine names for the states, or I don't know. Let's see if he says it.
7-kilometer wide pathway known as the Siliguri Corridor. This pathway is like a crucial artery that completes the India puzzle. Or so you would think. Now let's discuss the juicy stuff. Now in the China episode, I already talked about the disputed areas with India, such as Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh. The latter pretty much just belonging to India as it's almost completely inhabited and operated by Indians. So let's move to the other disputes. Now, as of 2015, the Bangladesh episode is already outdated as India and Bangladesh have finally come to an agreement over the frighteningly complex former enclave-exclave dispute. In the end, India only lost...
So, okay, Bangladesh. Okay, Bangladesh is not in India.
About 40 square...
Alright, it's right next to it? Or is
kilometers of land to Bangladesh, and now only a few enclaves and exclaves exist. Now let's head north. Now, when you try to draw the shape of India, you might want to be careful which depiction you use. Some might use this picture, some might use this, some might use this, and those that don't really study very well might use this. The point is, the whole area is like the most heavily militarized, diplomatically stressed out region on the planet. It's already had like 4 wars in the past half century. Basically, India, Pakistan, and to some extent China all want the entire area for themselves, although it's more of like a Pakistan-India thing. In the China episode, we already discussed the Chinese disputes with India, so I won't cover those in this episode. If you want to learn more, just watch the China episode. But anyway, this entire area was a former domain known as the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir that was under royal Maharaja rulers all the way up until independence. Currently,
Kashmir. Oh, what a lovely name.
This place is split up by this fenced-off militarized line known as the Line of Control.
I know Cashmere. Get it? Cash. Cashway. Love it.
Between India and Pakistan. Why is this? Well, in the quickest way I can put this.
Another fun fact. This is a cool fun fact. Speaking of cash, my name. Some would say I have an Indian first name. Yes. Yeah. So that's a fun fact that I'm giving y'all. I have an Indian first name, and a lot of Indians have. We share the same first name.
Okay, the British are out. We get to take your land.
No, we want to be an independent princely state.
We're supposed to take your land, and majority of your people are Muslim, just like us. Even though your ruler is Hindu as well.
Hey, India? Yeah? If you help me, I'll let you secede my territory to your land with autonomy. Deal. Ha! Your problem now! I love how Mike played India. He totally represents India. Oh, and keep in mind, Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, is less than 80 kilometers away from all that drama. The line of control meanders through the mountains until it stops at a point called NJ9842. This is where things get really crazy, because from there you hit the Siachen Glacier, the second longest non-polar glacier in the world, and this is pretty much the dead man zone. After point NJ9842, you hit the actual ground position line, a series of military outposts that extend all the way to the Chinese border. That means everything in this area is ground zero for the Indo-Pak tension. And the crazy thing is there's actually literally small towns of normal regular civilians living in these areas high up in the mountains, many of which just go about daily life, going to work and raising their families. Otherwise, they have a river dispute with Nepal and various river islands disputed with Bangladesh. Outside of all the dispute stuff though, India not only has the world's second largest road network and 3 of the world's top 10 megacities and their own space program, but they also have a copious abundance of landmarks and notable sites, way too many to list, but some of the ones that you guys, the Indian geography peeps, have told me to mention include places like the abandoned Danush Kodi Ghost City, Golconda Fort.
Hey, the Ghost City. I'm all into the supernatural. Love it. Love a good story.
The 4 pillars of Charminar, the Ajanta Buddhist art caves, the Ellora monolithic ruins, Mandu Fortress, the Golden Temple, which feeds.
Ooh, the ruins. I have to rewind it. Go back some.
Their families.
Yeah. To live in that area, which he claimed as the red zone. I know that has to be very tough, very stressful, not physically but mentally, because you just never know what's gonna happen, and if tensions are high, it's just stress is a lot, because you can be under stress and not even realize it, so it's just like I could only imagine the condition of living in such a heated and environment, to say the least. I know you got to go about your day, you got to live life, as we should, but yeah, I know that's pretty tough.
Otherwise, they have a river dispute with Nepal and various river islands disputed with Bangladesh. Outside of all the dispute stuff, though, India not only has the world's second largest road network and 3 of the world's top 10 megacities and their own space program, but they also have a copious abundance of landmarks and notable sites, way too many to list, but some of the ones that you guys, the Indian geography peeps, have told me to mention include places like the abandoned Danush Kodi Ghost City, Golconda Fort, the 4 pillars of Charminar, the Ajanta.
The Ajanta Buddhist art caves. Okay.
Buddhist art caves, the Ellora monolithic ruins.
Yeah, this right here, this shot right here, Ellora monolithic ruins. This, oh man, I know they have stories for days with these artifacts, and just think of it. Just think, people with their hands, they created this. Yeah, sometimes we take things like that for granted, like, these things are man-made, so it's just like, think about the time and how much work and craftsmanship you had to make certain things just like this. It just blows my mind at times. So this is beautiful.
Mandu Fortress, the Golden Temple, which feeds over 100,000 people a day, the Gol Gumbaz Mausoleum.
Feeds over 100,000 people per day. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Mouths are being fed. People are lasting another day. Food is fuel. Life is energy. Love it.
the Kalavantin Durg Post, the ruins of Hampi, the hill forts of Rajasthan, Shatrunjaya Hill, which is basically like a mecca for Jains, the
Shatrunjaya Hill.
temple of the Bodhi
That looked cool.
tree, Jal Mahal, Bangad Fort, the most haunted place in India, Mahabat Maqbara. And keep in mind, just like in China, you can find a Great Wall of India in Rajsamand. There's also the Paritala Anjaneya Temple.
What? Do you see this statue? What? Wow. So I'm guessing this statue is the temple. Wait. Wow. I haven't seen a statue this big of an actual figure. I'm guessing since maybe like in New York we have the Statue of Liberty, but this right here just looks like the Statue of Liberty on steroids, like so much bigger, stronger. Wow. See craftsmanship and just like, wow, this guy must and has to be a very important figure in the society.
The largest statue in India depicting Hanuman, and at over 150 acres, the Sri Rangan Attaswamy Temple, the largest Hindu temple in the world. Oh yeah, and there's also that building with the stuff in the thing, whatever. Anyway, we could go on for centuries talking about India's rich constructed domicile, but what it lies on top of is even more fascinating. Now, don't make this mistake.
I'm going to India. All I need are my sandals and sunscreen.
Oh, crap. Now, as the 7th largest country in land area, India has a wide range of landscapes, climates, and elevations that all contrast from one corner to the other. First of all, let's talk about the north. India sits on the Indian tectonic plate that essentially smashed into the Eurasian plate, which in return created the largest mountain range in the world, the Himalayas. The force is so strong that it's estimated that the Himalayas grow about 2.4 inches or 6.1 centimeters every year. There's also where you can find Kanchenjunga, the tallest mountain in India, or the 3rd in the world, right on the border of Nepal. Keep your eye on these mountains. These are pretty much the source of most of India's major rivers that give life to the whole country. That's why India takes these mountains so seriously. You can also find the largest natural lake.
Natural resources, baby. Those things are just, God given. Natural resources, you gotta love it. You gotta take care of it, because it's gonna take care of you. So, yep, to each his own.
Ular up in the Jammu Kashmir area. Below the Himalayas, you reach the North Indian River Plain, sometimes referred to as the Indus Ganga. This is the most fertile part of India where the most important rivers like the Ganges and its tributaries flow. Heading a little south, you reach the Satpura and Vindhya ranges that pretty much divide North India from South India. On each side, you get the West and East Ghat Mountains, which in return creates this massive triangle thing called the Deccan Plateau. This place is moderately forest, especially in the east, in the Chotra Nagpur Plateau, where you get
The Deccan Plateau is mostly forest. I guess I'm guessing it's just like a lot of animals, a lot of like people that a lot of tourists like to go to forests, a lot of wildlife people that just like to explore and walk and stuff like that. I wonder what type of exotic animals live there. That'd be pretty cool to like figure it out.
a section of the swampy Sundarbans that they share with Bangladesh. Check out the Bangladesh episode. Head a little west and you get the dry Thar Desert along the border with Pakistan, as well as the Rann of Kutch, known as the Salt Desert. And finally, the only active volcanic area would be the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, with Barren Island having actual conical eruptions and Bharatan having tame mud volcanoes. Now here's the thing, although India has a relatively high population density, they do relatively well with maintaining their ecological footing. In fact, in 2016, they beat a world record by planting, disputably, 50 million trees in one day. They've also agreed to reforest about 12% of their country by 2030. The most heavily...
That is beautiful. That right there is, stuff like that is easily how you could tell that they care about, their land, and not only their land, but the earth, and, giving back. And, giving back, for some people it's so hard, but for some it's so easy. And that's just a lovely thing when you're capable of giving back. And giving back doesn't always have to mean, I'm giving back your money. No, the little things go far. Plant a little tree, plant this, do that. You don't know how you touch someone. You could say the slightest thing to someone, and you can make their day. Just like the slightest thing could turn somebody real mad and upset and whatnot, but that right here is just, it's beautiful.
forested area being the seven sister states in East India. Now, one of the factors that contributes to this would be the fact that India has the lowest meat consumption in the world with the highest population percentage of vegetarians at around 40%, most of whom are lactose.
Wow. Okay. Oh, the least amount of meat consumption in the world. Okay. I know y'all living to at least 150 years old. At least. That's the average. Well, that's the average. The least. See, and it's deep because us consuming all this meat slowing us down, making us think slow, getting us big. You know, guilty pleasure over here as I'm speaking about it, but yeah. Oh, these spices, these herbs and spices look so good.
Vegetarians that consume milk products. By the way, in India, when buying groceries, this label means vegetarian and this one means not vegetarian. Nonetheless, the remainder of the population does typically eat some kind of animal protein, mostly in the forms of seafood or chicken, but almost never beef or pork unless if you are part of the Muslim or Christian minorities scattered throughout the West and East areas. Now, let's talk about the role of cattle, shall we? India has more cattle and livestock than anywhere else in the world at around 330 million. And it's interesting.
Wow. That's a crazy fact right there. Wow, the most cattle in the world. Like the cattle walking down the street, just like, hey, I'm just doing my thing. But they take, I bet you they take great care of their cattle too. I guarantee you that. Way better than the people in this country I reside in, I bet too.
Because since they have prevalent Hindu traditions, the killing of cows is illegal in many of the states except for a few, and each state has varying degrees of punishment for committing intentional cow slaughter. Keyword intentional. Cows accidentally get hit by cars all the time. Once a cow is too old to produce milk, it typically is released into the open to die naturally in the wild, ideally. Nonetheless, male cattle get it much worse, as they are deemed as kind of useless. Some places use them as draft animals for labor, some religious sects use them as sacrifices, but otherwise they are typically sold to the underground market for beef or hides. To this day, there are about 6 times as many female cows as male cattle in India, so that means, yeah, something's happening to the males. Nonetheless, India does have the 3rd highest carbon emission rate after China and the US, 4th if you consider the EU. However, emission per capita, they rank pretty low at only about 2 kilotons per person. Contrast that with Qatar at about 40. There are 94 national parks, 501 animal sanctuaries across the country where you can find some of the national animals like the peacock, the Ganges River dolphin, the king cobra, the Indian elephant, and the highest population of Bengal tigers in...
Nice. Now that's what I'm talking about. And I love animals. I love nature. Oh my God, I would love to see these species in real life, And I just watch TV, National Geographic, stuff like that, and I just be like, wow. But yes, I do know tigers. Tigers come from India. You learn that when you're a baby. You learn that right away. Lions come from Africa. Tigers come from Asia. I'm sorry, yeah. Let's say the continent, Asia, for sure.
The world, which are all highly protected. India also has the most irrigated land in the world, which allows them to become the #1 producer of multiple products like millet, bananas, lemons, limes, mangoes, ginger, chickpeas, milk, butter, fennel, jute, and about 75% of the world's spices alone come from India. Speaking of which...
Wow, see, I was just talking about the herbs and spices, about 75%. Oh my gosh. That's basically about 100% of the darn spices I got in my kitchen cabinet right now. Oh man, you gotta give the credit where the credit is due. Come on. Love flavor.
Food! Typically you can find the staples roti, chapati.
Food. I love it.
And naan in the north, idli and dosa in the south, and everybody eats rice. The more commonly commercialized Indian foods that
Who doesn't like rice? Come on. Gotta give that a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you eat rice. I better see a thumb up for every view.
in the West grew up knowing, like samosas, tikka masala, tandooris, and my favorite Indian dish, palak paneer. These usually come from the northern regions of India. Seriously, India, you took spinach and made it fat. I love you guys. Otherwise, the West is mostly known for their chutneys and pickled foods, as well as beef, since there's a high number of Muslims and Christians. The South uses a lot more coconut and has some of the best curries like porials, sambras, rasams, and tutus. And the East is known for having the best desserts like peda, mishti doi, rasgulla, or shonde.
Looks like I'm going to the East first. I love desserts. Yeah.
Speaking of which, India is so diverse and complex that sometimes even Indian people need translators when going to different states. It's about to get 10 times more confusing in about 3, 2, 1. Shashi Tharoor once said, "In India, we celebrate the commonality of major differences. We are a land of belonging rather than blood." First of all, India has a population of about 1.3 billion people and is the second most populous country in the world after China with about
1.3 billion. Wow.
18% of the world's population. About 72% of the country is Indo-Aryan and a quarter are Dravidian, and the majority of the remainder are Mongoloid, Asian, and other people groups. They also use the Indian rupee as their currency, they use the type C, D, and M plug outlets, and they drive on the left
Hey, is that Gandhi on the currency? That's dope.
side of the road. By the way, technically it's illegal for these banknotes to leave the country, but you guys have sent me a lot of them for fan mail for Fan Friday videos, so I don't want to go to jail. Again. Now keep in mind, those statistics that I just mentioned are incredibly generalized. Of the Indo-Aryan and Dravidian communities, there are about 2,000 different ethno-linguistic people groups in India with about 645 district indigenous tribes, 52 major ones. So obviously we can't cover them all, but what we do know is that the North is very different from the South. For one, the North mostly speaks in languages that are all related to the Indo-Aryan branch, with languages like Hindi, Bengali, Punjabi, and Gujarati, whereas the South speaks a completely unintelligible Dravidian branch with languages like Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and Kannada.
Hey, comment down below. Which language and dialect do you speak? And do you speak more than one? Is it like real difficult for you to to like translate or to learn a different one? Let me know in the comments below about that.
Canada. Otherwise, there's also pockets of Sino-Tibetan and Austroasiatic languages spoken in the far north and east.
Wait, so how do they all, like, communicate with each other?
Great question. Although India does not have an official language, there are 22 recognized national languages, and of these, 2 are the most prevalent, taught in schools, and used by government officials, Hindi and English. And very often, these two are like mixed mid-sentence. It's weird. Don't be surprised if you hear someone speaking Hindi and then suddenly finishing off in English. It's like,
Sabi ko sa bigla, where's this? And I was like, what this? And I was like trying to, like, why are you even trying to do that?
I know, right? And in the washing machine, I told them, about.
Nah, I get that 100%. Because a lot of people of different cultures, they usually mix. Like sometimes it flows better, sometimes the translation is better, or just works, or it's just a thing. So I wouldn't be that to me wouldn't be like a surprise or mind blown. I totally understand y'all on that.
Sag it with a chainsaw. Now, of course, let's discuss the one thing that goes hand in hand with India, Hinduism. About 80% of India claims to be Hindu, or at least part of the Hindu practicing community. Now, we don't have time to explain everything about the tenets and multi-layered philosophies and practices of Hinduism. If you want to know, just talk to a Hindu person. But basically, one thing you do need to know is that Hindu-driven ideologies pretty much dominate most of life in India, everything from family to business. You will see colorful, mesmerizing shrines, temples, statues, and rituals being performed everywhere, even in public. On the Bharat Mata, the mother of India, statues are everywhere. She's like the symbol of India. The largest.
Wow. She's like what's her name? The mother of India?
Now, of course, let's discuss the one thing that goes hand in hand with India, Hinduism. About 80% of India claims to be Hindu, or at least part of the Hindu practicing community. Now, we don't have time to explain everything about the tenets and multi-layered philosophies and practices of Hinduism. If you want to know, just talk to a Hindu person. But basically, one thing you do need to know is that Hindu-driven ideologies pretty much dominate most of life in India, everything from family to business. You will see colorful, mesmerizing shrines, temples, statues, and rituals being performed everywhere, even in public. On the Bharat Mata, the mother.
The Bharat Mata, the mother of India. What's her story like? What's her story? I think I gotta look into that. I got to. He sold me with the mother in India, so you know I gotta look into that.
Of India, statues are everywhere. She's like the symbol of India. The largest Hindu pilgrimage, the Kumbh Mela, happens every 3 years, rotating between 4 cities, in which the adherents bathe in the Ganges River and enjoy a massive festival with tens of millions of people. Like, seriously, you can practically see it happening from space. Now, a controversial topic in relation to Hinduism would be the caste system, which is basically a belief that people are born into a socioeconomic life that they are destined to serve into. Today, however, the system is more fluid and loose from what it used to be from a long time ago, and thanks to economic reforms, anybody with enough drive can kind of move up the social ladder regardless of birth. Nonetheless, India is home to every major religion in the world, even a few Jews, including the B'nai Menashe, an indigenous group that claimed to be one of the lost tribes of Israel. In fact, Judaism and Christianity actually had a head start in India way before it even kicked off in Europe. As tradition holds, Cochin or Malabar Jews
Wow. Wow.
migrated around 1000 BC to trade during the times of King Solomon, and in 53 AD, Thomas the Apostle of Jesus arrived in what is now the state of Kerala to establish the first church in India. Today, most Christians are found in the southwest and far east Seven Sisters regions. India also holds the highest population of Sikhs, Jains, and Zoroastrians, mostly found in the north, and the second largest Muslim population in the world after Indonesia. Most Muslims are populated around the northwest areas by Pakistan or in the east by Bangladesh. Oh, and don't forget the Buddhists. In fact, Buddhism actually started in India. Today, the Dalai Lama even takes refuge in Tezpur in the state of Assam. Oh, that was a lot of information. Okay, so by now you can probably get a grasp of how incredibly mixed and diversified India's population is, but what exactly holds the country together? Well, for one, you kind of have to understand Indian history, which will take way too long to explain, but in the quickest way I can put it, Indus Valley, Maurya and Gupta empires, southern empires, Golden Age, Middle Kingdoms, a ton of new religions come flocking in, the north
The Golden Age.
fell to the Delhi Sultanate, the south became the Vijayanagara Empire, the Mughal Empire starts, British East India Company, direct British rule, nationalist movements, independence, republic, economic liberalization in 1991, and here we are today.
Vijaya.
Essentially, India used to be made up of around 500 smaller royal princely states, and when the British came in, they kind of exploited them to manage such a huge population. Although India is a democratic
Why is the British in India? Come on. Stay over there. Stop, you know.
federal republic and the largest democracy in the world, the old royal family still exists today, and although they have no political power, they hold high positions of influence in their communities across India. So today, technically, you could meet someone that would be considered an Indian prince or princess. Nonetheless, the biggest thing that really united Indians in the past 2 centuries would probably be their hatred of British rule. It was kind of like,
Well, this is not cool.
yep,
What do you say you and I work together and end this thing?
essentially one good thing you could say that came out of imperialism was that it
I'm down with that too.
kind of stopped all the internal squabbling and unified the groups towards one common goal, to get rid of imperialism. Today, Indians are just proud to be Indian. I mean, a Tamil soccer player can get cheered on by a Rajasthani. A Punjabi pop star can sell out tickets in Orissa. Speaking of which, all Indians love movies and music. India has the second largest film industry in terms of volume, pumping out nearly 2
Hey. Shout out to the the whole Hollywood scene, as in, motion pictures and music. That's lovely.
1,000 films per year. Surprisingly, Nigeria pumps out more. However, the box office revenues gross out at only about $2 billion annually compared to Hollywood at over $10 billion. But still, it's impressive. And keep in mind, it's not just Bollywood.
Yes, it's very impressive.
But it's also Tollywood, Gollywood, Collywood, Pollywood, and so on. There's like 20 different woods in India. Oh, and like every movie in India has at least one scene where everybody breaks out in song, and there's almost always a happy ending. Unfortunately, mainstream media has also put an aesthetic
You have to love a happy ending.
strain on many of the people, as it's almost become an obsession to be light or fair-skinned, causing people to go so far as to buy skin bleaching products. Some other controversies include things like
No. All my Indians out there. Hey, it's okay to be the natural shade that you are. No matter what it is. Whether you're super light, super dark, in between, brown skin. Like me, like the coworker I had, his name was Khalil. Khalil. His name was Khalil, and he was a few shades darker than me. Yeah, clearly a few shades darker than me, and he loved his color. He used to tell me all the time about how his color is better than mine, you know. And I used to be like, hey, you talk your talk, you know, but it's only one way. It's cash way, man. All right, Khalil? But yeah, you know, love yourself, man. Be beautiful, you know. God made you who you are, you know. Accept that.
Illiteracy being an issue in many parts of the country, especially in the rural areas. But I mean, come on, when your country has literally hundreds of different writing systems, go figure. I mean, give them a break. Also, many of you guys, the Indian geography peeps, have asked me to bring awareness to the fact that India does unfortunately have some of the highest rates of human trafficking and child slavery. The government is trying to crack down and culture is slowly being reformed, but for now, it's a sad reality.
Damn, that sucks. That right there, you know, that sucks. Oh man. That sucks. I'm not trying to just think about it too much, but you know, the world we live in, no matter where you from, I mean, any country in the world, the country I live in, the neighboring countries, you know, there are sick people everywhere. People that need help. People that are, you know, mentally messed up, and you know, and just do bad things or unhumanly things, you know. Yeah. So, you know, you just gotta stay in your lane.
That still does exist. Hey, here at GN, we talk about the good and the bad. I'm just saying. Otherwise,
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand where he's coming from. To each his own, you know. But shout out to all the rest of my high 90% of the good people in India that I know that are watching this right now. They're having a good time watching this with me. We love y'all. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are.
sports do definitely tie everyone together as well, especially cricket, the national sport, even though they also used to do really well in field hockey. India also has a lot of their own indigenous sports like Dopkel in Assam, bull racing in Kerala, Insuknar, rod pushing in Mizoram, and Malakamba, the strange pole yoga gymnastics thing in the south. Otherwise, some notable people from India or of Indian descent. Guys, the Indian geography peeps have asked me to bring awareness to the fact that India
I'm sorry, we had to go back because I seen a sport that I think I would love.
It does unfortunately have some of the highest rates of human trafficking and child slavery. The government is trying to crack down and culture is slowly being reformed, but for now, it's a sad reality that still does exist. Hey, here at GN, we talk about the good and the bad. I'm just saying. Otherwise, sports do definitely tie everyone together as well, especially cricket, the national sport, even though they also used to do really well in field hockey. India also has a lot of their own indigenous sports like Dopkel in Assam, bull racing in Kerala, Insuknar.
Insuknar. The wooden. It's like a wooden pole, and I guess you tugging like a tug of war. I would love to do something like that. That'd be cool.
Rod pushing in Mizoram, and Malakamba, the strange pole yoga gymnastics thing in the south. Otherwise, some notable people from India.
Wow, did you see what that man was doing on that pole? What? That was crazy. He was moving as if he didn't have bones in his body. Unbelievable. That was cool.
Or of Indian descent might include people like Siddhartha Gautama or the Buddha, Mahavir, Ashoka the Great, Prithviraj Chauhan, Aurangzeb, Shivaji of the Maratha Empire.
Oh my gosh. Let's give it up for the hairstyle. That deserves applause. Oh my gosh. You see the mustache? It's curling. Man, I wish mine could do that.
Mohandas or Mahatma Gandhi, Indira Gandhi,
Gandhi, shout out to the whole Gandhi family. People like that, man, they have influences for generations. They never die.
Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru, Rabindranath Tagore, C.V. Raman, Satyendra Nath Bose, Bhagat Singh, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, Amir Khan, Salman Khan, Priyana.
Oh, Priyana. Oh man, Priyana, she is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen on TV. On TV, I didn't see her in person. Oh man, she's married to, I believe, Nick Jonas. I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, that is her. And yes, very lovely lady, beautiful.
Chopra, Ben Kingsley, Sundar Pichai, Satya Narayana Nadella, A.R. Rahman, Sachin Tendulkar, and Mahendra Singh Dhoni. There's also literally millions of other famous people I missed out on. If you want to mention,
yes, Amir Khan. I do know, because I am a fan of boxing. I do know there's a fighter named Amir Khan. Let me know if he's Indian or not in the comments if you do know.
Them, please. There's a comment section below. Use it. In the meantime, we gotta finish this info marathon, shall we? Now, no surprise, India is huge and therefore has a huge international outreach when it comes to diplomacy to almost everyone, except their immediate neighbors. First of all, countries with large population percentages of Hindus and Indians like Fiji, Guyana, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, Mauritius, and Malaysia typically stay close to India's roster of go-to friends. They enjoy cordial relations with trade. Now, the UK may have left on a sour note, but they still have a lot of ties to their former colonizer in terms of business and tourism. India is still part of the Commonwealth, not Commonwealth realm, there's a difference, and the UK has over 1.5 million citizens of Indian descent. As mentioned in the China episode, China is kind of like India's "I'm only here to do business with you and nothing else" friend, as drama still hasn't subsided in regards to the territory conflicts. Now, when it comes to the US, things started kind of sour back in the 70s during the Indo-Pak War of 1971, when the US sided with Pakistan, their arch nemesis. Today, relations have cooled off. Mostly, the US supports India's move towards democracy and is a key ally in the military conflicts in the Middle East. When it comes to their best friends, however, most of the Indians I talked to have said Russia and Bhutan. Russia because during the Indo-Pak Wars, Russia came in and supported them, and ever since then, each country has held a high position of respect for the other, especially as global superpowers. Bhutan and India signed a treaty of friendship.
Okay, that's cool. That's a fun fact right there.
Almost immediately
Russia helping out India.
after independence. The two countries have shared interests and a currency-pegged system as well. Bhutan even supported the annexation of their cousins in the Sikkim state into India, as it gave a nice buffer of land from China's stake to their claim.
Wow, that's nice.
Conclusion, you will not find anywhere else on Earth like India. Thousands and millions of people inhabiting a colorful, majestic, green, slightly gritty at times slab of Earth, blessed and cursed in so many ways, yet wonderfully harmonized, mostly in a unity unlike anywhere else. In the end, that's India. Stay tuned, Indonesia is coming up next.
Okay, that's it. Geography Now India. We wrapping it up at that. Lovely video, lovely video. Wow, India is huge. India is so huge, and I know there's so much more to it that he couldn't cover. Obviously, as he said, oh man, the different languages, the different alphabets, the different religions, the different. Oh my gosh. I wish there could be a part 2 to this. He needs to come out with a part 2, a little bit more in depth, or that would have been pretty cool for me to watch too. But I have some researching to do. Definitely on the mother of India. Didn't forget about her. I might have to check her out. I enjoyed the video. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Thumbs down if you didn't. And don't forget in the comments below. Let me know what language you speak. If you're from India, of course, and yeah, it's only one way we do things. That's the cash way. Don't forget to subscribe, and just look out for all the content that I will be posting. And if you want to follow me on IG, Instagram, my Instagram is The Cashway, DA Cash with a K, and then WAY. God bless you all. I love you all. India, thank you. Blessing me with your presence with this video, and I'm looking forward to some more. Peace.